A Georgia Republican is sick and tired of hearing criticism of the Confederacy, and he's introducing legislations intended to preserve its remaining symbols around the state. Republican State Representative Tommy Benton is sponsoring bills to recognize Confederate Memorial Day and Confederate Governor Robert E. Lee's birthday as state holidays, and also he's wishing to restore the names of roads honoring Confederate soldiers that have been changed since 1966. He also wants to change the state's constitution to prevent things such as the proposed Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial from distracting from the Stone Mountain State Park, which is intended to honor the Confederacy. Benton said, I'm tired of the anti-Confederate rhetoric towards Stone Mountain and any other Confederate monument that's out there. Several southern states, including Georgia, and a number of retailers removed Confederate flags and other symbols after a white supremacist who displayed the flag gunned down 9 black worshippers at a Charleston, South Carolina church in June. Benton said, I refer to that more as a cultural terrorism than anything else. They're attacking us for no reason at all. We've not done anything to provoke them or anything else. By them, I assume you're referring to black people, Mr. Benton. So, yeah, what did Whitey ever do to anger black people? Except use them as farm equipment and sex slaves for a few hundred years before they were freed through fighting a war. Then after the war, you just made sure they were marginalized, kept uneducated and poor, while crackers like you enjoyed the so delightful pastime of picnicking with the wife and kids under the swinging corpse of a lynched Negro. Oh, and if the children were extra good, they could even take a piece of the corpse home as a souvenir. Then after that, you blue-eyed devils fought tooth and nail to keep black people from ever integrating into the American culture as a whole. And let's not forget the voter suppression, automatic assumption of guilt, the redlining of housing and services in majority white suburbs, the media's portrayal of black people as primitive, unintelligent, and dangerous, which has led to the police being so suspicious and scared of black people that they make a habit of stopping black people with nebulous cause and then beat them or shoot them with the slightest wrong move or mention of their rights to the basic protections of our Constitution or to their right to have any shred of dignity. So, yeah. Other than that, what's the problem, black people? Benton, a retired middle school teacher, often sponsors bills to honor the Confederacy and its leaders. This guy was molding the minds of the future. Let's just hope this evil prick wasn't teaching history. Benton insists he's not a racist, kind of like a lot of racists do. If you have to say, I am not a racist, you're probably a racist. But the former teacher also says the Civil War had little to do with slavery and denies the Ku Klux Klan was racially motivated. That is like jaw-dropping bullshit. I can't believe that shit. Yeah, right. And the Nazis were just travel agents that thought the Jews needed to take one of those health nut spa vacations. You know, go on a little diet, get a little workout, get a hot mist shower that's to die for, and a nice hot fire to finish off the day in total relaxation. Benton suggested that his legislative opponents, which include many black Democrats, are racist for opposing his measures to honor Confederate figures as American heroes like George Washington. So this guy's comparing Confederate heroes to George fucking Washington. He went on to say, we're entitled to our heritage, just like other people are entitled to theirs, and there seems to be an attempt to do Confederate cleansing. Well, I have a message for Mr. Benton, now that he's done dripping dung out of his mouth like that episode of South Park, where Martha Stewart shoved a whole turkey up her bunghole. It's from a previous episode of Sovcast, where I elaborated on my thoughts about that rag of a flag and his dear Confederacy. Once again, Florida. I'm sensing a pattern. Florida and Texas. I definitely know how it feels. My wife and I are both from Michigan, and now we live in Florida. And there's a huge Confederate flag we have to pass every time we go to our friend's house. And every time we both give it a very vehement middle finger. And I also typically give it a fuck you, fuck you, fuck you mantra. Next Memorial Day, they should cut it into strips, wipe their asses, burn the filth on filth, then flush it down to where it belongs. That's just my opinion. A local member of the Sons of the Confederate Veterans, John Adams, said that while he respects Chambliss and Sims' right to political speech, he questions their choice to hold the event on Memorial Day. That's a day for soldiers, said Adams, who had 9 relatives who fought for the South. Respect the day and let our boys who gave their lives rest in peace. Well, here are my thoughts. The dead do nothing but rest in peace. And besides, this is a day to honor American soldiers who fought for the United States of America. They always talk about how the Civil War was the most costly war in American lives, but I disagree. The Confederates didn't want to stop being slave-owning pieces of shit. They didn't want to be a part of the United States of America, so I don't count them amongst the American dead. So burn it, toast it, and roast it. Ye motherfucking ha, y'all.
I poop too much, and then I get tired.
Search iTunes for Sovcast. Subscribe, give a rating and a review, and keep an eye out for Super Gorilla.